Dev in the building.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host here at YouTube, signing off and imitating never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are talking about Raw this week was in Atlanta, Georgia. But before we do, the big news that came out over the course of, well, the weekend leading into this week's episode, Arn Anderson was let go from WWE. Now, a lot of people were speculating it was because of this or that or backstage heat or and all that. Honestly, and here's the thing. Arn has been with the company since they bought WCW back in 2001, but they just brought in a whole bunch of new producers. They brought in Abyss, Shane Helms, you know, just a lot of guys. A lot of guys. So, you know, unfortunately, there's not enough room at the table for everyone. And I'm not saying this in an insultive way, but Arn's getting up there in years, much like we all are. Time doesn't slow for anyone, sadly. And well, I can't speak for Arn Anderson personally, but I'm pretty sure if I was him, I would be looking forward to retirement and just wanting to sit back home, relax, and enjoy the benefits of all the work I did over the years. Now, aside from that, also WWE also did let go 3 big names that were a surprise, but at the same time, not so much. TJ Perkins, a lot of people were speculating it was because he got a whole bunch of tattoos on him, you know, and it went against company policy. I can't say for certain. I've never heard any policy ever get set, anything ever get said about WWE having a policy about you have to ask permission to get a tattoo, because if that's the case, what the hell? I challenge somebody to make that fucking argument with Undertaker, because how many times, you know, he had his wife's name right here, then he had it removed, and then he had one go around his neck. You know, the man's got fucking tattoos all over him. You know? I don't think that there is a policy. I think somebody might have just tried to fabricate and bake bullshit up on that. Now, another one that was a release is Hideo Itami, Kenta. That's a big disappointment because he's a hell of a worker, you know, really good, but, you know, guarantee he's got work over in Japan. Lastly, Ty Dillinger. The man was able to make the number 10 get over, and he is going to sadly be missed. You know, I try not, you know, I call bullshit when I see it, and the bullshit right there was he was extremely underutilized. He should have been used better, but that's all the news, so let's fast forward into the show now. Raw starts out, Roman Reigns making a return, and you could hear the yells all the way to the heavens with him coming out. He goes around, circles the ring, hugs fans, kids, everyone ringside, showing appreciation. You hear welcome backs, and you could see the emotion on his face right there, point blank. Talking about on how he missed us all, he missed this is the best platform in the world, all of that, and honest to God is, wrestling, best pure platform ever to go and tell a story. Now, he did talk about on how back in, you know, talked about on how back in October he announced he had leukemia, so he had to relinquish the title, and then right after that he went to go in recovery. He did, and he then announced he is now in remission, so he is back. Now, they haven't said anything official story-wise yet. Looking, based on what it looks like, they're probably going to use one with him and Baron Corbin just as a feeder one to help him dip his toes in the water to get ready, because, you know, they were teasing about with Corbin's remarks that he said about Reigns after he announced he had cancer. So, but in all likelihood, after that, we're probably going to wind up seeing him go after the title again. That are not even so much likelihood, definitely will. So with that said, now let's get into the first match of the night. Tag team match, Alister Black and Ricochet going against the Revival. That very short-lived match, would have liked to have seen some more action from it. You know, it started out with the Revival attacking them right before the bell rang. Next thing you know, right after they get the attack in, and cuts the break, they come back. They lead, you know, Revival, they lead for a little bit, but Ricochet and Alister, they pick up the pace, and match comes to an end. Alister Black, boom, black mass kick right on to Scott Dawson, 1, 2, 3, that is it. And I know some folks are shitting saying, oh, well, the Revival, they got the titles now, but now they're just being used the way they were before. You don't always need to win. You know, and not only that, they're helping establish the next round of guys that are going to be on the show. So where's the harm? Okay, so with that said, next match up now, another tag match, women's tag match. Actually, before I do that, I'm sorry. Wade screwed up the cue cards that we got behind the scenes. One of these days I'm going to take a picture and put it out there on my Twitter at Tim Vicious for you. It was after Roman cut the promo, Seth Rollins came out, they hugged and embraced. That was a big thing. That got a lot of people choked up. Yours truly. Including yours truly. That said, now let's get back on track. Women's tag action. Riott Squad, Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan going against Natayla and Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda, she was surprisingly the team punching bag at the start of the match. Natayla, she was the punching bag after, but what was interesting was right before the break, Natayla and Ronda, they wound up teaming up on Liv Morgan, who was outside, and just, I don't know, it just felt very heel-ish to me, like, well, why are you teaming up? I mean, she ran interference once, and she's just out there to annoy you. Excuse me. Don't go after her unless she provokes you to attack her. You know? That's just me, though. But, anyways, match comes to an end. It gets thrown out. It says schmaz fest when Becky Lynch appears out of nowhere, throws down and starts slamming her crutches down on Natayla. Next thing you know, her and Ronda, they start brawling for a minute. Then cops come out, arrest her. Somebody did bring up an interesting point on Twitter, you know, which it took 20 years for them to finally arrest R. Kelly, but it takes less than 10 minutes for them to be able to come down and arrest Becky Lynch. Where is the decency in the world? Seriously. They couldn't have waited a little bit, let them two fight a little longer? So yeah. After that, Ronda winds up getting on the mic. Oh God, this was painful to watch. This was really painful to watch. Ronda tried pulling off a I'm angry and I'm going to kill someone type promo, and she could not. Ronda's, to be honest, I'm not quite sure who does a better promo, Ronda Rousey or the Bellas. Whew. But Ronda cut a promo insisting that Vince come down because she wants Becky reinstated, because she wants Becky at Mania, and then out comes the MILF in charge, Stephanie McMahon, and insists on Ronda, calm down, emotions are hot, tempers are, emotions and tempers are running hot and wild right now. Let's just take a deep breath, cool ourselves, Now listen, can't do that. Basic, and paraphrasing, mind you, Steph was saying we can't do that. Ronda was saying, listen, you need to do this. Woman up, give me this match. No. And then basically Ronda just threw the title down and then walked out. So, more than likely, we're going to wind up getting a triple threat between Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky at Mania, which, honestly, I don't mind at all. Because Charlotte and Becky are going to be able to hide Ronda's obvious flaws. And them two are going to steal that match more than anything else. So, next up we get the piss break of the night. It was Jinder Mahal versus Kurt Angle. I don't think I need to explain on how this one went. God, I really hope Jinder goes back to SmackDown soon so that way he can get another title shot. Next up, we got Finn Balor versus Lio Rush for Finn's Intercontinental title. But this came to be from, as Finn was in the middle of sitting down with Alexa for a moment of bliss. I never related more to Corey Graves in my life than in this one moment when Alexa was interviewing Finn. He was wearing it. She was saying, you know, that title covering up them abs of yours. Tell you what, if you take that off and show us them, I'll show you my, and then boom, the music cut, just like, no, get him out of here, get him out of here. Never agreed more with Corey Graves in my life than I did right there. But yeah, after that, Lio came out. Started talking to Finn, saying on how he doesn't deserve to be champion, Lashley does, and then Finn said, well, tell you what, how about you challenge me? Are you trying to challenge? It sounds like you're trying to challenge me. So why don't you come down and face me for that title? Because it sounds like you're trying to sound like you're better than Lashley. So then we get and now we fast forward and we're here. This nice fast pace at the start, really love it. I've dug the shit out of Leo's work since I saw him in Ring of Honor. Really good, really impressive. I like the guy. I really do. He's got a hell of a lot of talent, hell of a lot of charisma. I definitely see him going places as long as he stays in it, as long as he doesn't wind up doing something stupid. Now, one thing did like with this match was on how Lio kept targeting Finn's knee and worked the one knee during the whole match. And it was impressive because then it pretty much came to the point of Finn being a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and match came to an end. Finn wound up doing a Bloody Sunday and then did the coup de grace on him. But what was impressive was he did it. He had his one leg up, just like a little bit off the ground when he went to go and do the Bloody Sunday, and then hopped up on there with one leg to the top. Did that. Didn't waste no time coming down, nursing like, and then go over, just boom, stop, pinned him, and while he's pinning him, nurse the leg like, oh God, that hurt. I'm regretting that now. But that I absolutely love that because it just showed really good mindset on how to work that, on how to accentuate that. So next up, we got Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman, and before that, they show Lashley in the back chastising Lio. How can you keep doing this? How can you do this? You can't do this for me. You working with me? Do I got you with me? Yes. Do I got you with me? Yes. Basically like hearing a dad talk down to his kid. That's on what it looked like. So, personal prediction looks like they're going to wind up having eventually them two split off, which is always an obvious case, but then wind up having Lio more than likely be the face between a feud with them two. But this can't even really call it a match because the bell never rang. It just, them two started brawling once Braun got in the ring. Lashley, he was dominating it, and then once they got to the outside, Braun just, boom, rammed Lashley, and then destroyed Lio, and then boom, yeah, that was it. So next up we got Next match we got Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre, no DQ match. Nice little brawl before the bell. McIntyre was pretty much leading into the break, and you know, as well as after the break. Really liked on how they're going, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh well, Ambrose is now jobbing his way out." Fuck that shit. Seriously. Why do people why the fuck do so many people gotta try and think that's always the case with people if they're leaving? Huh? I mean, it seems so stupid to think like that all the time. Just watch the show. Watch to see what stories are taking place, you know? You don't see people getting up in arms like that over fucking soap operas or TV shows on Friday or Saturday nights. You know? But, yeah. Back to this match. Match wound up coming to an end. Elias, right out of nowhere, wham! Smashes the guitar over Ambrose. And this came to be because when Elias was out and he was about to go and butcher some song again, out comes Ambrose to interrupt him. Brings up on how he's issuing a challenge to McIntyre for a no DQ match, gets in the ring, asks Elias, can he play this song? Can he play Thunderstruck? Can he play this song or that song? And then he says, can you play Dirty Deeds? And then Elias, oh yeah, I can play any song with this. Boom, misses, and then Ambrose, boom, hits him with a Dirty Deeds, and that's it. So that's what led to Elias attacking him during that, and then afterwards, McIntyre wound up hitting the Claymore, 1, 2, 3, that was it. Afterwards, then comes Lashley and Corbin to go and proceed to beat the crap out of Ambrose. And then out comes Seth, as well as Roman, to clean house, and they destroy everyone, and oh my god, the roof exploded when Roman wound up coming out, hit a Superman punch, and then did a spear, just whew. Seth and Roman, they walked out, they were like, yeah. And then Dean was just sitting in there after he got the crap kicked out of him, like, guys? Huh? So, personal perspective, what it's looking like, since they're, you know, excuse me, just coming over a chest cold. But from what it looks like, since they always play Ambrose as being the lunatic, you know, having a crazy moment with that heel turn during that time and not knowing any better, all that jazz, and you know, that's what I'm thinking. So, yeah. Next up, we got the main event of the night. Bayley going against Nia Jax. And, yeah. Nia, she was pretty much leading it, playing the power game. That was pretty much on how the match went. It came to an end when at one point Nia had Sasha by the hair. And then Bayley running on the apron. Boom! Hit her right in the side of the head. Then went up, hail to the Queen Elbow drop, 1, 2, 3, that was it. Now we come to the closing segment of the show, celebrating the one and only, woo, the kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, Ric Flair's birthday though. That man, honest to God, whether you love or hate Ric Flair, because there are people that don't like him. Because, yeah, they'll say, oh, well, he buried this guy, he went over that guy. Okay, name me one person that got to the top in any business, whether it's wrestling, you know, professional business, stocks, baseball, you know, freaking whatever, that did not climb over somebody or bury someone in some way, shape, or form. It's business for a reason. Ric Flair outdid everyone, and he did it damn well. That's the cold hard fact. Rick wound up, yep. So, celebrating Ric Flair's 70th birthday. Out comes Triple H and Steph first. And they introduce a cast of crew who's coming out to be in the ring to celebrate with Rick. First they bring out Shawn. Yeah, and of course they mention one of the saddest moments in wrestling history as Shawn's coming down talking about with WrestleMania with, "I'm sorry, I love you." And then boom, hitting that super kick on Ric Flair. And I wasn't crying that night, I just had dust in my eye. But yeah, then they bring out Ricky Steamboat. I challenge anyone to find somebody who could do an arm drag better than Ricky Steamboat, because I could never. And then, of course, the one man who, honest to God, him and Ric Flair built WCW for the early 90s. You know, and I'm talking pre-Hogan NWO stuff. Sting. Sting and Flair, honest to God, they really did make WCW during that time. Before the Hogan NWO stuff, yeah. And I'm not saying that as a knock or a bad thing. That's a compliment, because them two are synonymous in history. And they bring them out, and then they show a custom-made big gold belt for Rick. And then they introduce, now let's bring the man on out, Ric Flair! You hear the music, and everyone's like, alright, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? What's going on? And then they cue to a camera in the back, and you'd see... And then, of all people you see, Batista. Dave Batista. He storms into Rick's dressing room, drags him out, and then just looks at the camera. "Hey, Hunter, remember me? Remember me now!" And then they cut back to the ring. You see Triple H run out and then run to the back. So basically, Batista just beat the shit out of Ric Flair on his birthday. So if you want to talk about getting fucking heat, damn, Dave, I'd credit you on that. That is some good ass shit. So yeah, they're now setting the foundation for Triple H versus Batista at WrestleMania. That's, you know, I'm calling it now. Triple H Batista WrestleMania. That was set up during the 1000th episode. Excuse me, ground was broken for that at SmackDown 1000. This is now the foundation for it. So yeah, with that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. So do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you also look for me on my Twitter at TimVicious. You also got another account if I get put in Twitter jail or I'm ghosted, Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. Or on my Twitter at TimVicious. I don't think you got your creep drum going. Also, folks, do not forget to follow all of these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kenny Killer, my good brother, I am Danny Sunday. BSB_IV, Cranky Grandpa, Dazzy MWP, as well as Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.